How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Ginger Jolly Geek. Welcome back to the channel and to Boys and the Toys. So we've got the usual lineup tonight. We're going to have lots of discussion about 1/6 scale, about smaller figures, about gaming, and also about vintage toys and a focus on photography. So thanks for joining me. We'll jump straight into our first co-host, and that is Luke from Hydro Collectibles. How are you doing, Luke?
I'm doing very well, thank you. The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
It feels like a really long time since we've done this.
And it's not really. It's only, I think, about 4 weeks, I think, since we did the last show. It's not that long. But yeah, it feels like a lifetime. We never see each other. That's the issue.
No.
Next,
you were
we've
very
got...
much missed.
Yeah. Next, we've got good old James. How are you doing, James?
Heyo! What's up?
Oh, here he's off. Heyo, James. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not so bad. Have you recovered from your CGC unboxing?
I did. It was glorious. Yeah. Hell of an afterglow, I have to say.
Yeah,
but
some great results there, I think.
Yeah, delighted.
And then finally, we've got Ben, which we haven't seen on last month's show, I think. So really pleased to have him back. How are you doing, Ben?
Doesn't feel like long enough.
Yes, we had Ben. That was nice.
Hello. I'm back, bitches. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's nice to be here. I'm excited to talk toys. Let's do this. Let's go, as the Americans say. Let's go.
Well, yeah, you're used to being on American
Very
shows
annoying.
now, aren't you? So you'll have lots of kind of lingo and whatnot. Right then, guys, we've got 4 people watching, and I suspect that's us. So that's nice. We shall go straight. 4 of us, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go straight on. We're going to do a closer look today on figure photography.
Production values have really increased.
I was waiting for Duran to come in.
I've upped my game, lads. I've upped my game. We've each got a little intro section. Tremendous, I have to say. Anyway, we're going to be looking at
a video of you dancing to that music in Speedos covered in oil.
And some glow sticks.
I'll send it to you later.
That's for the OnlyFans.
Yeah. So, guys, want to talk a little bit about figure photography. Have you guys heard of a guy called Sidney Woodfield?
Yes. Follow them.
You have, Luke? James, have you?
I can't say I have. I might know. Is that what they do this under, or is there like a moniker?
Yeah. So he's on Instagram. He's also got a YouTube page. Nice. And basically, I became aware of him a little while ago through some of his figure photography. That's the fella. He does some absolutely stunning work. So, as you can see there, one of his examples of his images of Spider-Man fighting Sandman and the Green Goblin. The guy's got over 12,000 followers, and he really does do some absolutely astounding work. So it kind of got us thinking a little bit about figure photography, and I thought would show some of the stuff he currently does. So I just think that some of these work is absolutely amazing. What do you guys think of those images?
I think they look superb. I wonder if he's actually balancing them or if these are actually like digitally enhanced afterwards. That's the bit that I'm not sure about, because I know balancing these figures is really difficult.
But I know Ben's done quite an old touch on it a little bit. Ben does some Photoshop work, but I'm not sure if this is Photoshop or balance. Or
I think there's just some clever hiding of stands and stuff like that. Like I'd say if you took Punisher away, you'd see the stand go right down there, that Daredevil's on. I think so.
Yeah, either that or like fishing wire, like if you're dangling stuff. Maybe. Yeah. If you're watching, Sydney, how reveal your secrets to us. I love this Juggernaut Ghost Rider. Like I love when photographers kind of do something inventive and something you've not seen before in terms of the scenario. Like it's, the Punisher Daredevil was great, but we've seen that fight. I can't say I've seen Ghost Rider riding Juggernaut.
So Ben, have you not seen any of his work before that you can remember?
I may or may not have just followed him
just
as you spoke.
just making that comment, I've got a few images in a bit which I think are going to blow your little mind.
Little?
Well, blow your ample mind.
Check out Popeye.
This is one of my favourites.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
That's actually one of my favourite figures of all time. I have that figure. That's the Mezco 112 figure, I think, and it's a beautiful piece.
I've not seen that one before. I just love it. And again, this is like Ben was saying, Popeye v Thanos with a shark.
Brilliant.
Not really expecting that. And I love this Punisher and Blade one with the skeleton being decapitated, kind of as the run there.
That's
very
smart,
nice stuff. This I'm calling his wrestling collection. So there's 4 of these images. I'm going to test you guys because I haven't got a bloody clue. What are these moves called? I know that one's a clothesline. Is that right?
Yeah.
Pile driver?
Kind of looks like he's trying to put him in the walls of Jericho, maybe, or like a sharpshooter, potentially. I don't know. Nice. Nice. You know what, though? Like, this is not easy to do. Like, he must have studied the anatomy of what it looks like to be in that wrestling move or taking that kind of bump. And, he's done such a great job to kind of capture the moment. Like, these are cool. These are absolutely. You have acquired a fan.
Yes, he's very, very. I've been in conversation with him. He's a lovely guy as well. I love that Thor versus.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Now, this is where I start to get even more interested. So that Thanos versus Thor with the axe embedded in Thor's head. What do you think of that?
It's not for the faint-hearted, is it?
Well, Ben, hold on to your hat. Look at that! Look at the eyeballs there.
Oh, that's cool.
The jaw being ripped out of poor old Lizard there. Pick that one for you. Look, thought you might like that one.
I can still, even though he's my favourite character, I can still appreciate how awesome that looks.
And they are practical effects. I'm sure I've seen him do some work where he said that the eyeballs and things like that, they're like crafted eyeballs. It's not generated imagery. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
I love these two.
That's cool.
They're some of my favourites, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, guys. So that's figure photography. Just like I say, having a little look at some of the stuff different people do. Now, as I mentioned at the start, some of us do a little bit of this ourselves. So, Luke.
Yeah, but you just started with something amazing. Now you're going to show ours.
Well, these look amazing. Don't they look just... So I did
that one on the right does.
Ben obviously did the Terminator. I did the Superman. What I want to say, guys, is for the next show, I want you to do one that you haven't done before. So do your own little kind of mock-up. It can be whatever it is, whatever you want. Using Photoshop if you want, or practical effects or whatever. And for the next show, we'll put them up and we'll get us to vote on it and pick a winner. Are you up for that?
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, sounds like good fun.
And Ben, you do a lot on, what's the program you use to do your imagery?
So One Sip Scale Man has a show on a Friday evening out in the States called Figure Flex Friday. So if you hashtag Figure Flex Friday, you can get involved. Your picture can be shown on the stream and stuff. And yeah, it's good fun. And they have different themes every month and things. So it's a fun thing to get involved with.
Tremendous. So good stuff. So that's our first challenge for the next show. Okay, Ben. So you've been waiting to do this. Okay, Ben. Talk to her about 1/6 scale figures.
I feel like Trevor McDonald now after that. Hello and good evening to the 10 o'clock news. Okay, yeah, let's go then. So we're going to start off with your fish stuff, which of course comes from Hot Toys. So this is fresh off the press. This was announced a few days ago, I think, last week. And this is, of course, from Thor Love and Thunder. Interesting, this deluxe version comes with the helmet, but by the looks of it, the electrical kind of effect, the thunder effect in the eyes, I don't think they come out. I think they're built into the helmet. and I don't like that personally. Because I'm never a massive fan of effects on 1/6 scale figures. I don't mind it on smaller figures, but I think 1/6 scale figures are I like to give that impression of a miniature person there in the room, and I feel like the effects make it look like I mean, it is a toy, but it makes it look more of a toy. So yeah, it's a pass for me. I was never into this look anyway. I know it's is it Thor 387 or 78? 378?
It doesn't even look like
battle
like
armor.
that, really. Yeah, it doesn't look the same. I'm not a fan of the costume, and I'm the same as you, Ben. As you know, I've just picked up the Endgame Thor, and he's got all of these effects that you clip onto him, and I hate. I'll never use the effects. It makes it look like a toy. I did want to ask you about this one, Ben. It says additional accessory. Is that because they don't want to spoil something from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, don't know what that'll be, and I don't know when they'll announce that. Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, they obviously had that Doctor Strange a couple of months ago, and they blurred out the eye, but it's very obvious that it's an eye that they've blurred out. So, but yeah, we'll see. I actually on Sunday that I hope it's a goat.
Yeah, could be. I actually like the costume. I think in a lot of the shots of the movie doesn't look very good, but the picture on the left, I quite like that look. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. Is that they just reused the Ragnarok head sculpt, didn't they, from like the Sorcerer scene?
It looks like it. Apparently, JC Hong, I think, had come out and said that they're going to be updating it between now and the release. Because it's not a 10 for me. I don't even think it's a 9. Like I don't know. It just doesn't. Does that look like Chris Hemsworth? I'm not so sure.
It's a pass for me. I'm a massive Thor fan. Luke, what are you thinking about it?
I'm struggling to see if that is actually a figure on the left there. I mean, I don't know. It just looks like a digital render, which obviously it might very well be, but it doesn't look like that's what it's going to look like when it's finished.
And I think you're right, Ben. If those lightning effects are stuck on the eyes, it's a definite pass for me. Because, looks cack.
To infinity. No? Pull my finger. Oh, you haven't seen the film.
I haven't seen the film.
No.
I am really excited for this. This is going to happen for me. The one thing I would say as a UK stream is this figure is not licensed in Europe. So the UK distributors can't list it officially. So if you want this figure, you're probably going to have to go to your Hong Kong resellers and stuff, which is frustrating.
Why is that, Ben?
It'll be to do with licensing. It's similar to like in-art. The in-art Joker figure is like only licensed for China. I guess it's where they purchase that license, and it might be cheaper to just get China, or there might be reasons, I don't know. But I'm really excited. I'll find a way to get my hands on this, because this for me is like the ultimate kind of representation of like, as I grow older, I still have the same toys, just more expensive versions. So I've got, and you can go and watch the video over on our Hydra Collectibles, but I've got if I do say so myself, pretty extensive Toy Story collection. And that's all in a box now, ready to pass on to my daughter when she's like 3, so she doesn't, I don't know, shove things up her bum or anything. But just waiting for that age. So yeah, she'll have that, and then to mark the occasion, I'll probably get a Lightyear and have him put on a shelf all by himself.
I mean, I have to say, one of the things people tend to go for with Hot Toys is because they look lifelike. Yeah, that looks like a toy, but actually it looks bloody good, doesn't it? It does, to me, look very. I don't know. I would never.
They've captured the film, and the film is this weird pseudo, like real life, but then it's Pixar, so it's like real life adults in Pixar still look like cartoons, sort of thing. So, But yeah, no, I think the paint applications on the face, and I really like the addition of Socks. If you've seen the film, you will know that Socks is one of the most instantly lovable kind of additions in a film this year, at least. So I'm definitely going to be getting that deluxe version with Socks.
You say I'm not. I mean, I am a Toy Story fan. I like Toy Story. I would have never have put this on my radar to buy, but I don't know. I do like it. It would fit nicely with.
I'm so torn with this because I have to admit it looks amazing. Right, it really does, and I think this is what I would want to have on my display personally. But I'm so torn by it because the whole point is that there's already a toy of Buzz Lightyear, which is the toy. So even if you've done a live action movie, the toy should always still be that old toy. I think they should have just remarketed everything again and gave you the toy just like Andy bought when he was in.
Yeah, what I would be doing, Luke, because I am a geek, I would be having Buzz like that. And then I would probably buy a 1/6 scale to him Buzz Lightyear toy. Do you like it accurate? So it's like he's got the Buzz Lightyear figure.
Yeah.
What are those ones you collect, Luke?
So I collect the mini brands. So they probably do have Toy Story versions because I think I've got a Bo Peep and I think I've got Woody as well, but I haven't seen a Buzz yet. But then I only bought a few of them just to throw in amongst my photography.
But that would look cool. Oh, here we go.
Oh, mama. I like the look of this thing.
Where I was sticking my nose if I were you. Look, you know how I feel about this guy. This is a dream figure. There's no other way to put it. Like this is a dream come true. This is like the moment I saw Cad Bane in Clone Wars. I fell in love with him, and I wanted kind of merchandise with him. Of course, you got your Black series and your other vintage scale and stuff. But like for me, this is like the ultimate collectible for a Cad Bane fan. In an ideal world, I kind of probably would prefer that Clone Wars version in terms of the stylings, but that's quite easily done. Like I might actually try and make him a wide brim hat and maybe change up the gauntlets, but like it's just amazing, and it's a really nice touch from Hot Toys to include the Todo 360 because that obviously wasn't in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's kind of a way for you to be able to display this either with your Bad Batch figures or your Clone Wars figures. I mean, Cad was trained by Jango as well, so you could have him paired up with Jango Fett. There's so many options.
Sorry to interrupt. A Todo 350. What's is that? The robot?
360, Peter. The robot. Yeah.
See, right, okay. I saw that, and because I did watch Book of Boba Fett. I thought that was the chef robot thing. So that's not the chef robot thing. No.
James.
No. Okay. I can't understand why I was on the Star Wars show, to be honest.
James, out of interest, we're all Star Wars fans, but I know that me and you are slightly obsessed. Is this going to happen for you?
I have to severely limit what I go for with. I have a very narrow 1/6, collection. I only really go for PlayStation stuff. I love the look of this. I just wouldn't have anywhere to put it, and I think I'd have to go for a Din Djarin or something first before I get to a Cad Bane or a Boba.
What if he appears in Fallen Order, the Jedi Survivor? Just saying.
Oh, that would be tempting then. Yeah,
and it could happen.
Could happen.
Could happen.
That would be cool. He would make a good boss fight. I actually would like to see that a lot.
But I would love more species aliens from Hot Toys, because for me, my fascination with bounty hunters was the fact that you'd get the kind of the horrible alien species like Bosk and Forlom and Zuckuss, and I'd love to see those guys. I'd love to see an Aura Singh, who was Cad's right hand woman. I mean, you could put him near Darth Maul because obviously that was the first appearance in the comics and stuff. So, for me, this is a figure that will fit into anyone's Star Wars collection, whatever era you're going for.
I do like the fact you get the 3 different faces with them as well, different expressions.
It's a bonus. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been fine with just that stoic, but I don't like the open mouth, just because Cad doesn't do that much, because he's even when he's in battle, he's so bloody relaxed and confident that he just doesn't. So like the snarl I get, but I'm not overly keen on the open mouth.
Does he have the toothpick
options? No, shit, man.
You could make one though. You can shave down a normal toothpick and do one if you want.
Splinter off a bit of wood.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That in his mouth.
Oh.
Okay. You ready? Brace yourself, guys. So we've had a release. Okay, so the classic Iron Man, red gold, that has been released now. So we've got in-hand pictures and everything. And then when they released it within the same week or day, I can't remember what it was, but they announced the other 2, the War Machine and the Stealth. I hate these. And I'll go beyond hate. Hate's such a strong word to use on the internet, isn't it? But I hate these. They frustrate me because they were so close to a brilliant thing. They were so close to perfection in terms of what the idea was and how they executed the look. And then they went and did this weird decision of putting this kind of clear plastic over the top. I know the Stealth has the blue plastic, but it's this weird kind of, and I know I think it's like an artist thing, like it's the artist who designed these, who collaborated with Hot Toys, that's their way of distinguishing it as their kind of thing. But it just ruins like something that could have been, like, how perfect would that Iron Man have been without that stupid ass plastic over the top?
Yeah. Are they still die cast?
They are die cast, but then the plastic
over it. That's ridiculous, isn't it? What's the point then?
I've seen a lot of images because I mean I have to say I absolutely love the style and the colouring and the look of these figures. But I'm exactly with you, Ben. I think they're calling it crystal. The crystal clear plastic on it looks shit. It looks absolutely dreadful.
People have tried to justify it by going, oh, well, no, because in the comics there's an energy that radiates. No, there bloody isn't. Yeah. There isn't.
What I would say is the golden and red one, there was someone did a mod on one a while ago, and they literally pulled all the stuff off. The bits that can't be removed are around the boots, I think, but they managed to get them off as well, and it looked phenomenal. So I have to say, I'm looking at that War Machine, and I love it. I love the style of it, but I hate the crystal on it. So if you can get the crystal off that, I think I might be tempted on him.
The one thing I would say is that was a pro who did that. That was a pro, and it would be, I mean, you'd have to have like a tiny Dremel and really, and even so, I think it left stuff and he repainted over things. But I'd say the War Machine, out of all of them, the War Machine is affected less by that choice because you can swap stuff. I mean, you can swap out the chest, but then you've still got like the plastic rings. So, but I think the War Machine's the best one out of all of them. But really frustrating because I just felt like they had a really good idea, and it could have been the start of an iconic Alex Ross kind of timeless version of each character range, and you've ballsed it up at the first.
I really just kind of get my head around it, the thought process behind it. Surely I mean, these are not cheap, and they'll not be cheap for someone to produce and all the rest of it. Surely someone at Hot Toys, it's that thing in a room as Emperor's New Clothes or whatever. You hope one person in the room is going to say, hang on a minute, guys, doesn't this look a bit shit? Do you know what I mean? But
I don't know, is this the same with Hot Toys as it is with smaller scale figures like the 6-inch line, where we tend to get like the shit version of a character first, and like people rush out and buy it because they think it's the only one, and then a few years later, because they've got the molds and everything, they make the tweaks and you end up with a better piece. Do you think, these are expensive to produce, right? The tooling alone is like thousands upon thousands. Do you think that they would make them without the plastic on them?
I think they're committing to the look. I think the fact that they've released a War Machine and a Stealth in the same aesthetic, if anything, will get like Silver Centurion next in that style. You know, like everything will be in that style now. I think for the Iron Man range, but the China market might eat this up. Like the Chinese market like absolutely love Iron Man. That's why they release so many Iron Man, because there's, you know, Iron Man collectors out there, and
and I guess it stands out, doesn't it? It stands out as something different in the collection. I would be really interested to know how the sales of it go, because if it's not selling, you wonder, will they adjust it, or God only knows. For me, it's irritating, like you said, Ben, because I love the comic style. I prefer, I think Luke said this before, I prefer the comic accurate figures rather than perhaps the movie accurate. So these to me were a dream. And then when I saw them, I thought, what a load of crap.
I feel like there's so much money to be made there by Hot Toys if they went down a comic book route. But, so this is, Dead Strange, Zombie Strange. I rewatched the film.
Loved it.
Just as bad. That's the first time. Yeah, really, really don't like that film. And you know what was comforting? Like, my wife didn't like it. Like, and she usually likes dumb shit sometimes. Like, and I'm like, what? Like, but she literally, her words were, well, that's 2 hours gone of my life. It's oh man. But anyway, and this is the Dead Strange. Now this is a very expensive piece. I think they're marketing it at about $370 if I remember rightly. So it's quite a pricey boy, but it's a showstopper, and it's one of those figures that, like, you know, like if you got a Moji case or something, you just need him in the middle. You don't even need and the wingspan alone and stuff. And it looks amazing. It kind of looks like the demons maybe attach onto the back and then kind of wrap around him, and then you've got the kind of demon wing. Very impressive. If anything, it looks better than the film. The sculpt looks better than the bloody makeup they put on him in that film. So very cool, but it's an easy pass for me. And again, it's a frustrating choice because it's like they've already released like the standard Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch from that film, and we're still waiting for America Chavez and a Wong, and they decide to go with Dead Strange first, and it's just like,
I'm on the fence, I have to say.
That means you're getting it then, Peter.
I do like the look of it.
I absolutely love it. I love the film as well, and if I had the money, I would be buying that. But I'm never going to have the money to be able to.
I'd want to put this with like Ash. Have them fight each other. Like that's what I would do with it. Yeah,
that'd be fun. Have you got the Asmus, Ash?
Like I said, I have a very narrow 1/6 thing. If I had the room, honestly, I would do. I was very close to buying a Jason at a Comic-Con a few weeks ago, but I backed out. But when I have the room, I'll probably expand my horizons a little bit.
Do it.
Shiny?
Very shiny.
Not a fan.
Calm down, you little magpie. I'm not fond of this either. This is quite refreshing, by the way, guys, because I go on that show on a Sunday, and they all bloody love everything, and I'm sat there thinking, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And this was one of the ones I didn't get because I just don't. I do get it. It's a gimmick, isn't it? And you know, and if you're displaying this on a solo shelf or whatever, it's probably going to look quite tidy.
So can I ask? Sorry, Ben. Just to interrupt, can I ask a quick question? Because I don't want to feel like a Star Wars. Yeah, I've never seen other shiny Stormtroopers. I've never seen a shiny Stormtrooper.
No, it's just a special edition gimmicky thing. Yeah. I would if I got one of these. Like in my head canon, it's like a special Trooper or like maybe like a precursor to like Phasma's armor or something, but that's just me. You know, I put a cape on it.
I think someone nearly sold me when they were like, imagine Kit Fisto with two of them either side. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like a special force, like underwater clones or something. I don't know. But like, the Keith there in the chat, Dopo. Yeah, like that's the thing. Everybody loves it. Just not me. And I feel so alone in the universe. It's gone over my head. I don't see the appeal. But
what about this one then?
This one a little bit more. It's a little bit more tempting because it's a black chrome, so it's not like you could still pass it off as the actual. Because I think for me, like I want the character. I don't want something we've not seen or a variation. I want to either recreate the scene or have that character there. So this one a little bit more so because you've got, it is a Death Trooper. It is black. It's just got that kind of chromy finish to it. And I think that this will look really smart sitting behind your Grand Moff Tarkin or your forgetting my Moffs now, but Gideon. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that green looks pretty impressive. I like the green and the black shine look. It looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the design of these has always been very cool. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Ooh.
So, on to third party now. Also, as well, with those Troopers, it was like a Star Wars Celebration exclusive, and then they were just online for everyone after like 4 days. So, it was like, so this is third party Thunder Toys, who I think, Keith, if you are still in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Thunder Toys are just like a branch of Toys Era, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, third party, and you're getting this Pegasus, which looks to be like what they call a power pose, where it's basically a statue. And I think that's putting a lot of people off because the wingspan.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be flat. You would want to display this like it's flying, but its feet are like it's standing,
Yeah, like if it was stood, the wings would be retracted, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if you had legs, you could swap out.
It just looks like they've got a horse and put wings on it. It's not like it doesn't look like they belong to it.
That's pretty much what Pegasus is, but isn't it a horse with wings?
No, James knew what I mean. Show your face. No, like the wings don't. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel.
Yeah, it's like when a bird lands. It tucks its wings in.
Thank you.
It doesn't walk around like this the whole time. They tuck in like that.
Oh yeah, got you.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
I mean, what the real thing to celebrate here is that we've got a Valkyrie figure, which people have been clamoring for, and sometimes what happens with these third party figures is they're actually leaks from the factory, the Hot Toys factory.
Right.
Or within Hot Toys, someone leaks it, and then the third party goes, "Well, we'll quickly get one out," and then because you'll see things like classic Loki and stuff like that. So maybe this means that we're going to get a Valkyrie, but I think if we get one, it will probably be King Valkyrie, as she'll appear in the new film.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Ben. I'm not a big fan of the Pegasus. But I like the.
Would you get her? Because she's going to be sold solo as well.
If I was getting the Thor, I would probably get her, but I'm not sold on the Thor, unfortunately.
I'd actually be tempted to get this for my show and tell. Like the thing I have with show and tell today, I would pair this with that because it would sort of work.
That feels like a tease.
You've
got us wondering now.
Nice.
Oh.
How ugly is that fucking headset?
Has his head been? Have I stretched that image, or is his head really that?
I mean,
big?
you have like downgraded the image considerably, but
like a cone head.
It is bad. It is bad. This is a Toys Laboratory. I've never heard of them myself, but again, they could just be a renamed company that we already know of. I mean, look. We don't have a Red Guardian figure. Hot Toys actually did display a prototype for Red Guardian, and it just never happened and it went in the Hot Toys graveyard, as so many of their figures do sometimes. So, you know, if you want a Red Guardian, this is the only way to get it, really. I think it looks a lot better with the helmet on, obviously. And
yeah, but that's not even his shield, though. That's Taskmaster's shield, isn't it?
True. Yeah.
He doesn't even have his own shield. Yeah.
Wow. Savage. Yeah, this isn't Cat. This is very cool. And this is another one that Hot Toys did have a prototype for. They did display it, and then they've just never kind of pulled the trigger. I should have sent over some other images, because there's a head sculpt with this, and it's actually really, really good. Yeah, this is of course Baron Zemo as he appears in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I like, I'm really fond of this character. I'm really fond of the way that he developed in that series, and I'm very excited for where the character is going in the future. Thunderbolts. So, this really tempts me. This one.
Well, that said, Thunderbolts. I think you'll get an official one when Thunderbolts rolls around. You know, so
and he'll probably his coat will probably look a little bit more superhero, and he'll have a sword, I reckon.
The only thing I think about this, and I mean, I might be wrong. I've got a Cobra Commander figure, which has got the bit like that, a solid mask, which is obviously in the comics, it's a material mask. And I don't know, I kind of feel that the solid plastic mask makes it look like a toy, whereas a material mask might have felt better on him. And I don't know if I feel the same about that. That looks plasticky, whereas I would like a cloth mask. Does that make sense?
It does, but I don't agree with you for this figure, just because the way this mask was, it sits very tight on a shell, the fabric, anyway. Right. So, like, I kind of think it's the only way to achieve this look is but having it as a sculpt.
I mean, in the comics, it's melted to his face, isn't it? Isn't it adhesive X or something like that? I think it's attached to his face on. I might be making that up. I don't know.
No, well, I mean, there's multiple versions, isn't there? Like, this is his granddad or whatever, and then but Nazis. No, it's his. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So this is the other end of the scale from third party, to be honest. This potentially now we are looking at the premiere level for 1/6 scale collecting. This is the second in-art figure that has been shown to us, and it is of course Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings. Run, you fool. A lot of people are laid into it, but I actually love the simplicity of this and the simplicity of the base and everything, because I think it really feels like a high-end, like mini statue, like a real showpiece. This, if you go and look at other pictures, you'll see the sculpt in a little bit more detail and stuff. But in art, really are. We haven't seen any products in hand yet, so we kind of can't jump the gun. But as it stands, these figures are the future and the next level of collecting. But with that comes the price.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was about $500.
Wow.
Yeah, and obviously you're not getting much with it. So,
is it rooted beard, Ben? It's all rooted hair.
So rooted hair, and it's it's funny because obviously the Joker came with rooted and sculpted, whereas this they've just released it as a rooted, and I don't know whether that's a precedence for how they want to go moving forward, because they have released a big long list of what they're going to be releasing, but it's all Warner Brothers stuff. So it looks like they've only got the Warner Brothers license. So you're looking at everything from Mira, why is beyond me, all the way through to kind of a new Superman, Wonder Woman, stuff like that.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings collector, but I do like the movies. But I think that price, I wouldn't go down that route. I don't.
Do you like Potter?
I don't. I like most geeky stuff. I like Harry Potter, but I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan. I wouldn't. They're
going to be doing Harry Potter.
Are they? I'll give that a miss. This isn't a very good image, but
It's a terrible image, Peter.
These are the images you bloody send us.
It's not. Why? What do you do with these things to downgrade them so much, man? Honestly.
I am technologically challenged, right?
I'm gonna have to get IT on the phone to you.
All the budget went on the intros, I think.
Exactly.
No, well, guys, look it up. It's Mars Toys, the penguin, or the bar boss, as they're calling it here. I really like the sculpt. Again, it's like you can tell it's not Hot Toys level, but you're not paying Hot Toys price. It's third party, and as it stands, it's the only way that you're going to be able to get your hands on a Colin Farrell penguin. Yeah. Again, though, it's like why has no one made a Catwoman? Yeah. Well, I know why. Because she's costume. A woman of color and she's female. That's why they've not. And it's not. Well, I'm throwing it out there. That market just constantly neglects like female characters. The diversity within films and stuff, and it's very frustrating because people are crying out for that. But maybe Hot Toys, that's next in their line. I don't know.
I mean, that one does. I have to say, it does nothing for me. What about you guys, Luke? Does that do anything for you? Or
no, I think I've dabbled in the past with making my own 1/6 scale figures just by buying a head sculpt and then getting the body and the clothing. And I think you could pretty much do that with this. I don't need all the additional accessories and all the other parts. I think I would go way cheap with it.
I want to display it with my bullet.
Yeah. Very nice.
Cool.
Yeah. I would say Hot Toys probably won't get around to making an official one anyway. So if you're building a Batman collection, I think this would be a good pickup.
Yeah, because we're getting multiple Riddlers. So
who did you say make this, Ben?
Mars Toys. So they've done a lot of Batman villains. So they did Scarecrow, Joaquin Phoenix Joker. They've done a couple of Heath Ledger Jokers. So
again as well, I would really want the Danny DeVito penguin if I had a choice.
Oh man, and again, it's like in our lineup for their first year, it's all stuff that's already been made by Hot Toys. And it's like, you've got the Warner Brothers license. Give us Batman Returns that everyone wants and we've never had. I don't know whether because of licensing you have to go to Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito and stuff, but man, I'm getting very bored of seeing the same stuff. Like,
I have to say, it's probably an unpopular opinion, and I know you said before it's because of the market. I'm bored rigid of Iron Man. I feel like we've got thousands of Iron Men on the market.
There is, Some people just collect them.
Yeah.
They're never in my wheelhouse as well because the die cast are like 400 quid, and
I will say I've got the Endgame Iron Man and the die cast. It feels sexy. It's heavy and it feels worth the money. I often just go and touch it. Next,
here he is.
Yeah.
Now that I like.
Our boy Ozzy. This is really exciting. And I'm sorry, but like this for me, and it's Susu Toys again. This is Hot Toys level. I don't care what people say. Like, there are worse Hot Toys out there, and this is Hot Toys level, but at half the price. So I've got obviously the Susu Toys Rorschach, and it's probably one of the best figures I've got still. I would say that. And the Comedian is due for release. It was originally due to come out in May, but it's been delayed. My only anxiety is that, like, if I get a Comedian and then get this, and then it's like suddenly Susu Toys disappear or stop doing Watchmen, and then it's like I've got half the bloody team. No Night Owl, no Laurie.
No.
I have to say, out of all of those characters, it's the Night Owl I'd be most interested in. I think that could be a phenomenal figure.
I want a Dr. Manhattan. Imagine Dr. Manhattan with this level of work, like
translucent. And
they'll put plastic over him.
Attachable penis.
Massive swinging dot. Yeah. Ben, please don't tell us you like this, please.
No, it's bad, isn't it? I like it. I like it because it's definitely the only figure that we're ever going to get in this outfit and with this look and stuff. Like, you know, if you've got display and you put some bars in front, or like, you know, a plastic kind of wall in front or whatever, and you've got Batman one side and Riddler the other side, maybe you have Riddler's back turned to you so you don't see that head sculpt, then it's probably quite cool, you know, like, and so this will only be like,
if you hide it as much as you can behind plastic with its back to you with a bag over its head, it should be okay. Yeah.
Just
I want it just so I can have him going, oh my.
Well, that's, yeah.
I just think, you know, when you jump from the detail and the artistry on that to that looks shit.
I mean, I'd imagine this is significantly cheaper though as well. Like, oh, that doesn't look good at all, does it?
No.
It looks like a comic book. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like a layer of detail over it. There should be that there isn't. You know.
Yeah, I mean the paint apps are just very basic. It looks very plasticky, and they've just not done a great job on the sculpt. If anything, on the sculpt, I think if you'd taken off some of that hair, it might have looked made the hair a little bit thinner and stuff. Like the hands, you look at that picture in the hands. Look, I'll buy it for the hands.
Draw your attention to the chain metal thing around his neck. How shit does that even look? The silver.
Well, there's no detailing on it. It's just.
I'm going to buy these figures and make them look good. That's my. I'm going to.
Well, I think, you know, you will get really high quality Barry Keoghan and Paul Dano sculpts that you can buy on their own. That you can just do a head swap. You know, if you
just looks
to,
crap.
So,
just to mention 6-scale Padawan mentioned then in art Christopher Reeve, I would be all over that. They could charge us what they wanted for that if it was a good Christopher
But
Reeve
again, it's
Superman.
like their first year they announced Superman, and then John from InArt, who's kind of their like representative who comes on streams and stuff and answers questions, he confirmed that it's Henry Cavill Superman. So it's like, well, when are they even going to get around to doing Christopher Reeve?
Yeah,
but that's what people want, and that's what would sell.
Okay, Ben. So that was your slides.
Sorry, guys, that was an hour.
Well, I've got more to add to it, mate. I've got more to add to it. So you mentioned quite a few things there, but there was a few things I just wanted to touch on as well. You showed some horrific head sculpts there, and I just wanted to show these huge pieces of shit, really. It's interesting because, you know, I'm fairly new to the 1/6 scale market, been collecting for about 6 months, and this terrifies us a little. This one by is it Star Ace? The prototype of Homelander looks tremendous. These top images, the top 3 images, I think the eyes, yes, it's computer generated and all the rest of it, looks great. And then you look at that absolute shower of shit below it, the red painted on the eyes and stuff like that. I mean, again, these are figures that are over £100, aren't they? So it's not like it's cheap, but it looks naff.
Yeah, it's awful.
Then
I mean,
Thor.
That Thor's the same company that we just saw the Joker and Riddler from GTS. But like Luke said, you know, there are good head sculpts out there, and potentially what a lot of people are doing is they're buying these figures for the tailoring and for the actual figure, and then you go out and you acquire that head sculpt that elevates it. But I know you shouldn't need to do that. But if it's only a, you know, £150 figure, then I guess you can kind of potentially afford to do that to get the character that you want. I know Susu do have a Homelander coming.
Do they?
Yeah,
because
and that looks good. So
I have to say, I would be picking up the boys lane. I think if there were decent sculpts and whatnot.
There's Butcher. You can already get. You can get him easy.
Butcher's a bit boring. I want the boys. I want not the boys. Sorry, I want the soups. I want Homelander. I want Black Noir. All that lot.
You want the deep with an octopus?
I want the deep with an octopus strapped to his. Yeah. Oh,
I was going to bring this up with the Lightyear figure talking about earlier. Would you get one of these to go?
People are saying good things about this and saying that the eye things are great. It freaks me out. Does that not just freak you?
It's just because of what you can do with it. If you take it seriously, like I think it is a good thing. You know, like you can make him look. You can make him look like a pervert.
I mean, that one in the middle there looks like he's doing something. Touching himself somewhere.
Yeah.
I think Yeah. I mean, it was a choice, wasn't it? The mouth. I think, like, if that mouth was more stoic, then it would have completely changed the whole feel of the whole figure. I was actually tempted because I knew I know I'm getting Buzz, so it's like, do I get this and just leave it in a box for 2 years and then bring it out when I've got Buzz? But they don't go like, Woody's not in Lightyear, so it doesn't.
What is sort of the idea behind? Is it like Lightyear is, it's a Pixar movie, but it's not a toy? Is this like if Woody was a Pixar movie? Is that the idea?
Yeah,
because he doesn't look real,
An independent artist actually made something that suspiciously looked like this a while ago, like years ago, and then was selling it as a custom piece for like a lot of money. Like, we're talking like over 500 quid for a custom piece, and then this is the first kind of mass-produced version of that. But yeah, I think the vision was always to have like a Pixar real life, but Pixar version.
Okay.
I tell you what I see when I look at that, and it's because it's a series I love. When I look at the face, I see Ice Cream Man. Do you know the comic book series? Anybody read that? Yeah, it freaks us out. Don't like this. So I've been looking at the moment at a Rico from Starship Force, but then I noticed this one's just out, the Lieutenant, which is obviously, what do you call him? Is it Michael Ironside who plays him in the movie?
Yeah, Michael Ironside, voice of Sam Fisher. Yeah,
quite like that one. I would say if I had to pick between the two, I'd still go for the Rico one because I like the bug display stand better than.
Yeah, I was going to say Rico's got a better base.
Yeah, but they're quite nice figures. I mean, they're all pricey. The Rico one I'm looking at is about £250, which I think's expensive for a third party.
Virtual Toys is kind of one of the premier like third party. You're gonna get a good figure with them,
Yeah, pretty good. And then the last one,
you've got that in my head.
So you need a Starship Trooper now, don't you? There we go.
It's available.
Then the last one, Ben, I have to say, I'm going to pick you up on this. You put all those slides in and sent them, and you didn't mention the biggest exciting news from the 1/6 scale, which is, of course, this bad one.
Oh, there you go, of course.
How could you miss Mondo? Look at that. Look at it, man. Look at the accessories you get with it. I don't know what half of them are, but look at them.
Are you you justifying your purchase here, Pete?
I'm justifying my purchase, yeah.
I mean, it does look amazing, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's absolutely phenomenal. I just love it. And I love the fact that they're starting to push more of this line out, more that are in line with the cartoon version, because that original He-Man from Mondo, I don't know what they did with that. It was very much an artistic take on him. It didn't look like He-Man in many ways, whereas the Skeletor is very good. But yeah, I have bought this
for a fair penny.
You're not a massive He-Man fan, Ben, are you? You wouldn't pick this one up?
No, I don't think I'm enough of a He-Man fan to justify this purchase. Yeah. To be honest, like it looks like a. This is going to sound weird, but it looks like a toy.
Yeah.
Therefore, for me, this should have been in a smaller scale to fit in line with toys.
Like, I get that. Yeah, it's not supposed to be a realistic portrayal.
Yeah, like I think if you're going to make a 1/6 scale figure, just make it realistic, and then it fits in with everyone. Like if you had that now in your collection, it's gonna. But for the way that your collection, Peter, is so kind of diverse and has Transformers and animated stuff, so I think this will. I mean, you need it.
I did think at one point, like you say, I would have liked it in a. I'll get the name wrong. Is it a Fissin or a Fison body?
Fison, yeah, with the seamless arms and stuff.
But then I've picked up the Wonder Woman in a Fison body, and I don't like it. You can't pose it because when you bend them, it kind of nips and folds weirdly, if you know what I mean.
Are you going to display the classic head? Because I can see the classic head comes
absolutely
with it. I think that would look fun. Oh
no, absolutely not. It's been awful. No, I'll not be displaying that. No, I like that stoic look. It's boring, I know, but I'll probably display it like that with him looking at the sword held aloft. I will most likely not use any of those additional items. But then I find that with most of the hot toys, I go for the ones with lots of add-ons and use practically none of them.
Oh yeah, I barely use any accessories.
Yeah, good stuff. Luke, will you be picking up a Battle Cat?
Well, I think it looks amazing. It's going to be super expensive, but I do have a Battle Cat collection, and that would be the only one that I didn't have. So,
Gotta be done.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd have to sell. To get
Put
the
it
money
on the
for
credit
though.
card.
Everything. Sell everything. Right, guys, new section for this. We're going to go over to Jay.
La-di-da.
You have control, James.
I love it. All right, so there's not been too much in big gaming news really in the last month or so. Nothing really announced. There's been a few trailers, but the first bit of news that I think is kind of the most interesting. So From Software is the company that does, I don't know if you ever heard Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, heard of them? Sort of like the most influential games of the last decade. Jedi Fallen Order, for example, took a lot of inspiration from them. So they just released a game a couple months ago called Elden Ring. It's in association with George R. R. Martin. He did a lot of the lore for it, but that came out about 2 months ago, and they've come out and said that I haven't yet. I have a sort of a love-hate thing with FromSoft games because they're notoriously.
James. I'm a
Elden Ring. Have you?
Are you really? I've got it on my PC. Yeah.
How long until you died?
It was friggin' awful. Honestly, I literally lasted seconds. I saw some bloke on a horse and went to say hello because I'm a friendly chap, and he chopped me head off. It's very
that was
hard.
me. I was right.
That was Ben.
From Soft Games. So one of the things about them is that they're difficult, and the idea is that you sort of persevere through. You die, and you learn from that death, and you come back, and then you die a bit later, and you learn, and that's kind of that's why they're so.
Is this one of those games where your character progresses each time you play, and it keeps those stats moving forward?
Yeah, so there's a currency usually in like all of them are sort of in the same mode. Like Elden Ring is a bit more open, but like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, you accrue a currency, and then when you die, you lose that currency. But if you go back to where you died, you can pick it up again. So you try and get that a little bit further. But if you die a second time, you lose that forever. So you can level up like as you go. I played Demon Souls, and the way I got through was just doing the same bit over and over again until I was so powerful that I just could breeze through it, because
that's cheating. Is that not cheating?
Get frustrated. No, it's called farming, Peter. If you've ever seen the World of Warcraft episode of South Park where they just kill cows for 4 days.
Can I just confirm you said the ring was open?
The what?
Words.
The ring was open. I don't know.
It's very open.
Okay. Anyway, so they've already said that they're almost finished their next game. It's in the final stages of development, which I think is kind of crazy, considering games typically take 4 or 5 years. They just had this massive game released, open world, and they're already nearing their next game releasing. So I thought that was really interesting.
I mean, it is an interesting game, and I don't know if you know John Lees, who writes Hotel and lots of other books I've interviewed on the channel. He's a big fan of Elden Ring, and he posts on Twitter all the time about it. And basically, it's like every day, I'm on the same level. I've fought the same boss. He's killed us again. I'm fucking sick. And then it's the next day. It's a trashing game, I think.
It's a genre now that they create, effectively Soulsborne, and it's captivated a lot of people. But yeah, they're hard. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what kind of the thing about the games they do is it's sort of environmental storytelling. If there's not really cutscenes, you talk to characters in the world, and you find certain items, and those items have descriptions you read, and that's kind of how you get the story. That's how you learn about who this particular boss was and where they came from and why they look like why they have 6 arms and a tentacle sticking out of their ass. But yeah, I just think it's kind of crazy, like that we may potentially be getting another one in the next 2 years, because studios usually only work at 1 game at a time, or 2 games maybe if they're a big studio, and they release 3 or 4 years apart. So like the idea that there might be another FromSoft game next year, I think is incredibly productive. You know, it's really impressive.
Good
By
stuff.
then, John Leese might have gotten to the second.
Yeah, I think he beat the
exactly.
character.
Yeah. So that's the first bit of news anyway.
Good
Next up, so I have a video kind of going a bit more in depth on this, but I just thought it was one of the other big things that happened in the last month, so I thought I'd talk about it a little bit here. The Last of Us remake was announced. Last of Us Part 1. It's sort of a graphical overhaul of the original game. As far as I can tell, they've kept the performances, but everything else is kind of from the ground up, including like new gameplay mechanics like going prone, which is introduced in the second game. There is and this is sort of something I want to talk about. The special edition of the game is called the Firefly Edition. It's a US exclusive. It's sold out in about an hour. It cost $100. It's now selling on eBay for $450.
Wow.
I think Efren's got one of those for sale.
So Efren, he does. Yeah, Efren was very kind to get me one. And I like to. It's nice that our friendship is worth more than $400. So
you've not got it in hand yet, but have you?
No, not yet. No. But it comes with a reprint, like a special variant reprint of the comic book series. So I'm gonna get that graded when I get them. But yeah, it's crazy. Like that's scalping. But sort of what would you consider like the difference between like scalping and just that's what people are getting for it, so I'll sell it for that much?
So I don't have a problem with scalpers, and this might be very controversial, but sometimes, like what Ben was saying earlier, when something isn't licensed in your country, scalping is the only way you can get it. Having someone go in there who isn't actually interested but just wants to make a bit of money on top. Maybe this is a bit extreme because it is such a big jump in price, but I don't mind paying a little extra for the convenience of being able to get something that I wouldn't otherwise be able to get. So as far as I'm concerned, scalping in that respect is okay because it's the only way I'll ever get the stuff that I want.
I have an issue with, so for example, going back to that He-Man figure I bought, that was a timed purchase. But I know there were people who bought 10, 20 figures because there was on some of the sites I'm on, and that's purely to sell them on and scalp, isn't it? So if you miss that purchase, but then I guess you can argue you knew when it was going live. So if you didn't pick it up, you didn't pick it up. It's your own fault, I guess.
I think on top of that, you can only buy that officially through the 24-hour window. You can't, like, the person who goes to get that can't actually get it legitimately.
Yeah.
Normally, like it's only through scalpers. But yeah, because this is a US exclusive. Like I tried to get it myself, I had trouble, so I asked Efren. So
That's where it's bullshit, though. Like US exclusive. Like if it was open to everyone, then fine. But like, it's not fair that they would shut off certain.
Yeah. Like I would have had to. I would have had to go through eBay, and I probably would have as well paid close to what it's going for now. For it.
Efren, can you send the tracking?
Yeah. So yeah, that's just something I thought was interesting. And then the last thing, The Last of Us has a multiplayer spin-off that is coming out next year. I would imagine will come out around the same time as the show, just to capitalize on each other. But the what?
Us four against the clickers.
Yeah, let's do it. It looks like it's going to be
That's
just
what they do,
like
isn't it? The clickers.
the click. They do click.
I mean,
actually.
Me and Luke have got no idea what's happening here. I mean, Ben's just making strange noises.
Little cauliflower faces.
They click. Yeah.
I know my game.
But yeah. So like they haven't really said anything about it other than it's a big game and that they're putting as much focus into it as they would a single player game, which I think is really exciting because Naughty Dog is sort of the premier video game studio, sort of reinvent the wheel every time they do something. So seeing them focus solely on multiplayer, I think is exciting. But it looks like it's going to be set in San Francisco because the Gold Gate Bridge is in the background. There's like a dude fighting clickers and then these two characters. So I think that indicates a co-op mode or that clickers will show up in competitive matches. So yeah, so Last of Us news, I love it. Yeah, I have a video on this going a bit more in depth on my thoughts and showing a few more clips. So if you care to, you can head over there and see that. And then a little bit of sad news is we had a kind of a death in the industry. This is Bernie Stoller. So he was one of the founders of Sony Computer Entertainment America. sort of spearheaded one of the spearheads of the PlayStation. The original PlayStation kind of gave the go ahead to a lot of the launch lineup, like Apes, Odyssey, Spyro, Crash. He moved over to Sega after Sony and kind of ushered in the Dreamcast. And then he eventually moved to Mattel and helped them develop Barbie games for like PlayStation and things. So he passed away at the age of 75. It's sort of someone I'd heard the name before, but didn't know too much about him. And then I saw he passed away, and I was reading a bit about him, and it's like really seems like a very, important person in the history of games. So I thought I'd give a shout
Apes
out.
Oddworld Odyssey was one of the first PlayStation games I ever played. It came on a demo disc with the console, and I absolutely loved that game.
Yeah, even for me,
I want a next action figure of Abe. That's what I want.
I could imagine that happening, but like for me, Spyro, some of my oldest memories are playing Spyro. Watching my sister play Spyro because she wouldn't let me play, and that's I have a Spyro obsession. So it's sad. It seems like somebody important in every industry is dying.
Yeah,
every day now.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
that's me. Peter, you want to surprise me now with this extra bit?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention this. Have you guys seen much about this Midnight Suns game?
Yes, I've seen a bit of it. Not a genre. It's sort of like a turn-based action thing, isn't it? Strategy.
So I watched the
like XCOM.
I watched the trailer and it didn't float my boat at all because I'm sick of them. I wish they would just do standard characters, but they always have to have weird new kind of costumes and all that kind of jazz. But then when I was reading about it, it's exactly as you've just said, James. It's a turn-based like XCOM. Now, I don't know if anybody's played XCOM, but I am obsessed with those games. I love them.
Right. So, okay, that's good.
XCOM were basically it's a turn-based anti-alien game. So it's basically on a map, like you see there. And each of your characters is kitted out with different weapons and things, and you get X number of moves, and then you can shoot and all that kind of. But it's really
the aliens, Peter.
They're trying to steal the planet, Ben. The naughty aliens.
I'll let you.
Yeah. But this looks similar kind of basis to that. I just thought it looked interesting. So
yeah, I'm not really too connected with when a Marvel game comes out and it's like, oh, there's 20 playable characters. I like when they just pick one and they focus on them. It's a very good story following them. And the gameplay mechanics are really fleshed out. Spider-Man, for example, that Wolverine game, I'm sure is going to be amazing. But this is where I think Avengers kind of fell down. And then as well as that, this isn't really, it's not a genre I care for particularly. And I also think like this sort of, I don't think Iron Man or Spider-Man or Wolverine really suit this sort of area of the Marvel universe. Like they're wearing kind of costumes with runes on them, like the Midnight Suns. I don't know if I'm too into them. I think certainly Ghost Rider and Blade and stuff do, but yeah.
So that's really interesting, James, because I'm exactly the same. I would have been much happier if this was just literally a Marvel turn-based thing without the Midnight Suns element. But I think it's interesting. I will probably check it out because it's out on the Xbox, so I'll probably pick that up because I am a fan of the XCOM games. Okay, guys. So next up. So, shall we start with
went for a fly to like go.
Who pressed that?
Not me.
So show and tell. I think I've shown this before, so I do apologize. But I'm getting ready to pack it away. I've got to clear some space. It will come back out again when I have the room to display it. But for now, it's going away, and it's my custom painted Castle Grayskull.
Nice.
So
looks so good.
This was mine from when I was a kid. It's seen better days. All the interior is completely destroyed. But my wife and I dug it out of the loft, and both of us repainted it. So she's better than me at a lot of things when it comes to the painting. So I always get started, and then I kind of let her finish it, and she's absolutely knocked it out of the park. So I
story of your sex life there, Luke, as well.
I initiate, I start, and then so the final thing that I do want to do to this eventually is put some like moss and stuff growing up over it, maybe some vines and stuff. But I'll literally have my Masterverse 40th anniversary He-Man figure standing in front of it with some of the other figures all around. But I have to wait until I get my garage sorted before I can get this thing on display.
It seems like such a shame to put that away, man. Like,
I know
that needs to be behind you in every single video. Like, awesome.
I absolutely love that, Luke. So here's a question. I may have mentioned I'm getting a 1/6 scale He-Man. I really need kind of a 1/6 scale entrance to Castle Grayskull to display him next year, don't I?
Yeah, as he pulled that up, I thought, yeah, Peter would want to get on that. Yeah.
I don't know if one exists. I don't know if I've seen.
I'm sure you'll
probably not
find
official
one. Peter,
Get
do you know what I will say?
For like 20 quid, like the card.
Yeah.
Get in touch with Badger Dio. She'll sort it out.
Yeah, see if you can set one up. Good idea. Right then, James, what we got?
Yeah, so I have two different figures of the same character from two companies we've not mentioned on this show before. So they're both boxed, so I won't be able to take them out. But the first one is from a company called Good Smile. It's a Japanese company. They can do kind of 12 6-inch figures, maybe a little bit smaller. But this is another type of figure they do called a Nendoroid. So this is a Kratos minifigure. Comes with a few accessories. It's like sort of, not Funko, but like, that kind of stylistic,
It's
big
a bit
head,
bobbleheady, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's posable. It's like a fully articulated figure. It's just in that kind of style.
You know what that is, James? That's kawaii.
I don't even know.
Not a clue.
It's like Japanese. It's like Japanese for like cute. Oh, kawaii.
Oh,
Kawaii.
Yeah. So they do a few. This company does a few PlayStation ones. I got a Astrobot coming soon. I have an Aloy from Horizon. There's a Nathan Drake one, but I can't find it anywhere for like a reasonable price. So that's one of my sort of minuscule grails. And then this is a company called Play Arts Kai, which is it's somehow in association with Square Enix that does Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's like supposed to be Final Fantasy style, but this is a Kratos from God of War 3. What's the window box? That's him in there. Haven't opened them. One day. Yeah. It's the detail on it's crazy. Loads of accessories and everything. I bought it intending to open it, but I don't know. I like the box so much, I just didn't. But
is that what you want the horse for?
Yeah, I think this because in God of War 2, which is like the same costume he's wearing in this, he rides a Pegasus, and it is a white Pegasus with feathers. So like I think that would go with that really well if he was flying.
Yeah.
So I'd be tempted.
Singing like, I have found my way, I can go the distance as he's running.
No, I'll be there someday. Yeah, no.
Hi, Connie.
Yeah, Luke, get involved.
I love that movie.
I'm worried about the copyright claims.
Not for the notes.
Very nice.
Zero to hero, a major hunk.
Oh, look at the head movement there. Very good. Ben, what have you got?
Okay. Right. John
Can
Williams.
I just say before you start, get you with your fancy background there, mind. It's looking tremendous, I have to say.
It's had an upgrade.
I wish you'd fallen off your chair there.
Can you imagine? Views.
Through the air cabinet.
Right. I need John Williams to play me in for this. So.
Nice.
Come on,
in the chat. I can't hear you. No. Okay. This has got weird tonight, hasn't it? This is the Present Toys third party unofficial Jones.
I love it.
So I'll give you a look. The sculpt's not bad. It's not perfect. But it's not bad. Apparently, this jacket is real leather, which is nice because it means that you don't have to kind of worry about that like pleather degrading and I'll be in a Hellboy situation again. But and then I picked up the Idol just randomly on eBay for like 20 quid. It's probably a little bit bigger than it should be. But yeah, no, this was actually a bit of a kind of personal grail of mine. So I missed the opportunity to pre-order it when it came out. I'll put in there. And it's third party. And what happens if you miss out on a third party figure that's quite popular, then they're really hard to come by and they're extortionate when they do pop up. So I kind of just had it on my radar for months and months, never really saw one. And one came up and it was local, literally to the point where I basically haggled with the guy and was able to go and pick it up in person, you know, rather than him go to the trouble of posting it and stuff. So, but my grandpa used to take me down into his study and we used to watch the Indiana Jones films, and it's kind of, that's what I definitely credit for my kind of geekdom and like getting me into films and media and stuff like that. So I've got really, really fond memories of the films and the music and everything. So yeah, this is a real special piece now. Pride of the collection.
I love it. I love it. And I've been looking at getting a one myself to go with my movie icons from the 80s kind of look. And it's interesting because I looked at I think it's the Sideshow one. But I think the face sculpt on yours is better than the Sideshow one. I wasn't keen on the Sideshow one.
Yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. I know that Hot Toys have like a DX, but you know, if you're able to pick this up at a reasonable price, then I couldn't recommend it enough. I would like, because the Hot Toys had like Sideshow had like a diorama that the idol sat on and stuff.
Yeah.
I've missed out on a couple of bidding wars with that because I'm tight. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. I do love it. It's very special.
Good stuff, and I do like an emotional connection as well, so that's nice. So mine, I'm showing you a vintage toy, something older. I'm interested to see if anybody knows what this is. I would imagine Luke will. Let's see if any of you other guys know what this guy's called.
Hey,
anybody know who he is?
Cowboy McGee.
He's a space cowboy.
No, absolutely not.
No.
It's Marshall Bravestar. Have you never seen Marshall?
Oh, of course, Marshall. Yeah.
If you've not seen Marshall,
where's the horse? You got the horse?
I haven't got the horse. No, he's very expensive.
See, if you had the horse, I'd have clocked that immediately.
Ben, do you know who Marshall Bravestar is?
I don't bloody know who Marshall
Well, you do now. That's what I'm talking. That's classic cartoons right there.
My guts tells me that show has a lot of problematic.
Did him and the horse have a relationship?
They were close.
Native American culture.
See the pony.
I think Marshall Bravestar's. I've also got another figure that's from it, but I think he's called Sandblower, and I thought that's not right. Sand Blaster or something. Or, he's got an open mouth, and you can put things in his. Anyway,
Sandsucker.
But I remember. Yeah, maybe. I remember these figures because these came at the day with like a laser pack on the back, and it was when infrared was just coming out, and it was basically a quick draw action. So if you press his button, you can't do it because he's got his stuff there. His arms swing up.
Very quick.
So quick. You didn't notice.
See it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Marshall Bravestar. His horse, which was called 40-40 or something. Or
40-40, I think. Yeah,
40-40.
Yeah, it's two.
Is tremendous, but very, very expensive. You see, I should have Pete on the show. He knows who Bravestar is.
It's nice and big, like as old figures go. Like you wanna feel like you're getting your money's worth. Like you're getting a nice bit of hunk of plastic there, aren't you?
Yeah, he's tremendous. Anyway, moving on. So next, what
I'll
we
wait
got?
for the film.
Not coming, mate. You'll be waiting a long time, I think. So let's get back on the track, and we've got Luke.
I really set the mood there, didn't I? I was bopping along to that.
I just love that music.
That was quite romantic.
I'm kind of jealous I didn't get one of them.
Right, Luke, you have control, mate.
Right. So this is I mean, this could be a weekly show for this sort of scale of toys. I mean, there's always stuff coming out every single day of the week. So it's really hard to narrow it down and pick some. So I've thrown in some of my own personal favorites and just a few that I think will be of interest to the rest of the panel. So starting things off, this is the final set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures that I personally need/want for my NECA Turtles collection. I originally wrote down a list and said I want a human Baxter, human Splinter, aka Hamato Yoshi, and human Bebop and Rocksteady, and then I would be done. You know, I'd eventually pick up some of the other figures along the way when the prices were lower, if I was at a convention and saw them. But these were my main ones that were on my list. It just so happens that these are going to be this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And straight away, much like when it came to James and his video game, our good friend Efren stepped up and said, mate, I can get these for you, don't worry. And I was like, oh, thank you, I really appreciate it. But I haven't had to do that, because fortunately, NECA actually done a pre-order ahead of schedule, and I was able to nab an order from them direct. So that saves Efren a bit of trouble at the convention, but these are on their way. And like I say, it completes my collection. It's all in one set. Yes, it is quite expensive. You know, I paid almost £200 for this set of 4 figures, so they're at like £50 each. NECA used to be like £40-odd per figure, but now, you know, with the increase of plastic and stuff, it is getting ridiculous. So I am very glad that I am stopping after this, because I don't think I could afford to continue. So yeah, we have, like I say, Baxter Stockman, Hamato Yoshi, and Bebop and Rocksteady, and they come with all manner of accessories in this awesome San Diego Comic-Con exclusive pack.
They are pricey, them. Look, I wasn't expecting them to be quite that much, mind.
It is. It's very expensive, but then don't forget that includes the shipping and everything from the States over to me. You know, it's you've got to account for all of that somewhere. You know, like I say, if I was buying them as individual figures from other retailers, I assume that they would be £35 to £40 each. Yeah, you know, that's just the way that these things are going these days. Yeah, I am crazy.
I love the Bebop. I love the Bebop and Rocksteady, to be fair. I'd probably pay.
And like you say, that kind of completes your collection, doesn't it?
That completely completes my collection. There are no other immediate standout characters from my youth that I have that nostalgic feel towards. So anything else that I pick up would just be to fill out a display. You know what I mean? Like, I've just recently purchased the Baxter Stockman mouses, which were you got like 4 complete mouses and then a bunch of broken parts. So obviously having the human Baxter is just fantastic. So
before we move on, can I just say how look how professional this slide is? That like the amount of I want to highlight clearly how much
branding on it, and you know,
his tag on the side. You know.
So I'll tell you why I decided to do this, because you know because
Peter downgrades everyone's images when we send it over.
We would be doing the work anyway. So this is what I would be doing if it was on my channel. Why would I not do it from my friend's channel as well? You know, I figured I'll put in the same amount of effort that I would normally do.
Way to call us pricks without calling us pricks. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry guys.
Moving on. Yeah.
Next up.
So I created these in a way so that they're templates, so that I can obviously change the images each month. Saves me the work later on. Yeah. So next up we've got Mattel. I am a huge Jurassic Park / Jurassic World fan. I'm not overly keen on the latest movie, but hey, you know, some people love it, kids love it. I'm just glad the franchise is still going strong. Mattel have absolutely knocked it out of the park with their dinosaur figures over the years. They came on board just around Fallen Kingdom, so the second Jurassic World movie. Prior to that, the rights were over with Hasbro, and those figures weren't very good. You could see screw holes in them and everything. They just looked awful. But they've knocked it out of the park, both as a retailer for young kids going into like Smith's or Toys R Us, as well as the more collector's line, you know, the stuff that we like. I've recently put out a couple of videos about the Amber collection, which was all of these figures in a 6-inch scale. But these ones are are now the ones that people are going for. The Amber collection has been discontinued. People want the 3.75-inch figure line because it's easier to get dinosaurs in the right scale. And so they've basically released all of these figures to the collectors, much better paint jobs, full articulation. Man, I cannot wait to get that T-Rex. You know, I've just recently this week been watching people getting them early to do reviews, and it looks amazing. So I'm really excited to get hold of one of those. I've already got it on pre-order. And like I say, these fit perfectly with all of the figures that they've released over the years and scale beautifully with every single line. So yeah, I was a fan of the Amber collection. I'm sad to see it go, but this is a good replacement.
Have Hot Toys ever done any Jurassic Park stuff?
No, not that I know of. So I've got a mock-up of Owen and the Raptor squad, which I actually created myself using a Chris Pratt head sculpt and some clothing, and then I used the Papo or Schleck type dinosaurs just to make it look like the baby raptors around him.
I suppose a 1/6 scale T-Rex is going to be a fair size, isn't it?
I was literally took the words out of my mouth there, Peter. I was going to say,
just like we're going to do a 1/6 scale range for a dinosaur film, but we're not going to make any dinosaurs.
But do you know what? Do you know what? I think that even though things like the Amber collection are dead because they couldn't do a T-Rex or a Brachiosaurus, for example, in that same scale. That's not to say that like HasLabs can't do it. They've done like the Proton packs and the Barge from Star Wars. Like, I think people would pay money for a huge Rexy figure. Like, I think there's a market for it.
How big?
It. As big as you can. I'd have it standing behind me. It'd be amazing. So yeah, that's from Mattel. Then we've obviously got to go from Mattel straight over to Hasbro. And as you guys know, Hasbro put out loads of great action figures. Not only do we have the Marvel Legends range, which is doing incredibly well, but they brought out this Miss Marvel action figure, which I think looks superb. I've had some Miss Marvel figures in the past. They've done like a Gamerverse one, and they've done a standard release. This one knocks them out of the park. This one looks phenomenal. As well as that.
Sorry, look, I'm not overly familiar with Miss Marvel. I've not read a lot of that stuff, and I've been saving the Disney Plus show to watch it all in one go.
Oh mate, you're gonna love it.
Is that figure comic accurate, or is it the show accurate?
So that to me is comic accurate. Whether or not that's what we end up with in the show, I'm not sure.
That's the show. That's the show.
Yeah, it's the show. Yeah, but we haven't yet seen.
Yeah. But from the promotional, she's wearing the bangle. Yeah.
So that's the bracelet thing that the powers are from.
Oh. Just you wait, Peter. You're going to love it. That's all I'm going to say. You are going to love that bracelet.
I'm looking forward to it.
He's going to buy one. That's his next cosplay. So moving on from the Marvel Legends, we have the G.I. Joe Classified range. This G.I. Joe Classified range is absolutely breathtaking. It's incredible. And they've been releasing some really nice double packs where you get like some animals along with them. So they've released one with like a timber wolf, one with a crocodile, one with a hawk. They just look amazing. But this one right here that I've highlighted is CoverGirl. And the reason why I've highlighted this one in particular is because I think that is the perfect base to make a custom April O'Neil figure. I think that could work really nicely in creating that jumpsuit. Potentially keep the coat or take the coat off. I don't know. But yeah, I think that is a superb basis to build upon as someone who does, a little bit of dabbling in the customization forum.
I've got some of those. Sorry,
I've got some of those.
Yeah, I've got, I think he's called Zartan, the Master of Disguise, and you get kind of his spare faces and stuff. And I've got the BAT robot.
Yep.
The
thing that I love about all of these is like obviously NECA and like Super 7 and stuff, they've always been deemed as like the collector's market when it comes to this scale of action figures. But now we are at that stage where Marvel Legends, the G.I. Joes, the Star Wars Black Series, these are knocking it out the park. The sculpts, the facial features, everything just looks so well. And they're retail. You can go to the shop and pick them up. Like, that's amazing. Like, over here in the UK, we can't just pop into a shop and buy a NECA figure. Like, they don't exist. I've never seen them. You have to, unless you go to a really specific place. So, last one on this slide.
Put him in timeout. Put GP Venom in timeout.
So the last one here is the Tala figure from the latest Star Wars series. I think this was a great character. I think this is a great action figure. There's so many figures to choose from. Like I say, every day there's a new release, but I thought it was great to highlight that one, what with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Yeah. So that's what we've got from Hasbro.
I would just wait for that figure. Like I'd wait until she's in her like rebel outfit.
Yeah.
Before picking
they've released the just after I'd done this slide, I actually saw that I think they're releasing the robot. You know, the
he's very yellow.
He is. Yeah.
I'm like,
my boy, the love of my life. Come back, Nedby. Come back to me. Well, surely, like someone could just turn him on again.
You would think so, right?
Get repaired.
Get repaired.
Give me hope. Have you seen the HasLab Inquisitor Saber? Reva Saber is not doing well. It's got, I think it's got about just over a week to go, and it's like.
And this is like a crowdfunding thing for people that don't know HasLab. But they've got to get a certain amount of pledges.
It has to reach its goal. I just don't think that's a really good design, though. I don't like, as far as sabers go, I don't think it's a good design at all. So it's nothing against the show, nothing against the character. I just don't think it's what people want.
They overpriced it. They priced themselves out, and it's exactly the same as what they did with the Rancor. Like it was £100 too much, and people just weren't willing to do it. But I'm just
so I had it now. Sorry, I didn't have. My son had an Inquisitor saber, and I have to say it was good fun. You kind of disconnected it and it turned into two sabers, and the central bit came out, and you could throw it at people's heads.
13 days to go, and it's only at 1,300 out of 5,000 backers.
It won't.
And also, it doesn't spin. If it spins, maybe you get that $5,000.
You mentioned the Rancor. I reckon if they get back to work with that, put a saddle on it and everything else, from the Mandalorian series, I think that would sell now. I think if they brought that would sell.
£100 cheaper. Just have Boba and the Rancor.
I think now that people have seen it in the show, you whack a saddle on it and put an action figure of like the Mandalorian and Grogu with it. I reckon you'd sell that at retail. I don't think you need to worry about.
I want a Danny Trejo figure with it.
Yeah. So moving along, these. Now, this is right from my childhood. Toxic Avengers, Toxic Crusaders. It's the same. The comic book was one, the movie was another. I get confused which one. I've been looking at these. So obviously this was from Playmates, and back last month or the month before when we were talking about Playmates, I actually brought on my Toxie figure from the line from what I had when I was a child. This is obviously an upgrade since then, which we have received once before. Again, still from Super 7, but they've re-released him along with these two other characters. We have Junkyard, which I just think looks absolutely amazing. I want that dog. And that Radiation Ranger, if you're talking about army building, that's the one to go for. Now, I will say Super 7 is very expensive, but my God, do these things look wonderful. Like they are superb. I love these bright, vibrant colors. Yeah. And I do think that just like back in the day with Playmates when we were kids, they fit beautifully with your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, your Biker Mice from Mars, all these other characters that we have. Just tip out the toy box, let them all play. It's great stuff.
So do you think they've released these because there's a movie coming out soon?
So there is a movie, but obviously they haven't released any movie type figures. I think this is literally just because of nostalgia. Like we really are living in like the junk wax model like stage again. Like I don't know if people know what that is, but back in the day, it's just like all your plastic, your cards, your trading cards, stickers, everything. It's all the stuff that people went mad for, and we're right back there again. It's gone full circle, and people are severely nostalgic and investing in these toys of their childhood. So I think these are superb. I love what Super 7 is doing, albeit a little bit too expensive for my liking. But I am very tempted by that.
I think their packaging and the quality of the figures, you get what you pay for. Yeah. I think they're another level to Hasbro and Mattel and everything like that.
Yeah. Again, it's going back to, like I say, you've got retail and then you've got collector's market. And even though retail is creeping up, you're still you pay the extra and you get.
They announced their Kang and Kodos. Is it Kodos? The aliens from Simpsons today. They look brilliant. Like they look like amazing figures.
Yeah, I think I'd be tempted to get those two. Like, if I was going to invest in any of those Simpson figures, they're the ones I want.
Good stuff.
So this is kind of my slide of just a mix and match. So obviously from Mafex, we've got the boys, and they've got a whole different array of figures. They look absolutely amazing. I highly recommend that you guys go and Google and check them out. Then obviously over at Boss Fight Studios, which was the company that I first became aware of when they done their Bucky O'Hare line a couple of years ago. Love those figures. I don't know if they've still got the license. I'm really sad if they don't. I want more. But they are doing the Umbrella Academy, which I haven't seen the latest season.
No, I haven't.
It's on my watch list. I'm about to jump on this week. But I love that show. I think it's another superb show. Really good fun. And they do tend to drop it all at once. So I think the entire season is out to watch immediately. And then finally from Mcfarland Toys Man Bat. This thing looks incredible. Some of the pictures that I've seen. Now, I don't know if it has much movement to it based on the way the sculpt is. It's very like top heavy over the head and shoulders. But yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, some great choices. Sorry, Peter.
No, you're correct.
McFarlane, like I feel like McFarlane always excel at the bigger, grotesque characters, your Clayface and people like that. The Boss Fight Studios, like those Bucky figures were amazing, but like I do feel like when they attempt real world characters, it just looks a bit naff.
It looks like a Scooby-Doo character.
Yeah, it does not look good.
So Boss Fight Studios, like a lot of their stuff is smaller scale, and it's all to do with like the mythical side of things. It's a lot of stuff that is in public domain, which they can get away with without licensing. So they sell a lot of like skeleton warriors, like Medusa and Hercules and all that sort of stuff. And they come with like awesome playsets and dioramas. That stuff looks really good. And I do agree with you that the Bucky O'Hare stuff, just phenomenal. I do see what you mean in regards to these, but where else are you going to get Umbrella Academy figures from at the moment? Like,
it's a good point. Yeah.
That's the thing. They're the only ones who went for the license, got it, and fair play.
I do like that Homelander. I have to say, I'm looking at that thinking I like the look of him.
Yeah, Mafex is basically like a 6-inch Hot Toys.
Mafex is really expensive.
Yeah,
like you'll pay like 80 to 100
quid
per figure,
easy.
and it's still only a 6-inch figure.
Yeah,
so good though.
Really?
Yeah, it's like SH Figure Arts and stuff.
Okay, 80 to 100, but they are like shrunken down Hot Toys, basically. You know, like it's not level quality. Lots of real fabrics and stuff.
Good stuff. That you
start
don't
new obsession, Peter. Now.
So I've added a few.
At those Bucky O'Hares now, like
I've added a few that kind of just
Bruiser
jumped
is
out.
the hardest one to get hold of.
Okay.
Do you guys see this?
No.
So that's a life-size figure of Tom Cruise. So this is on the back of the latest Maverick film. Obviously, saw this today on one of the sites. I don't know. I just quite like the look of it. I thought I like the leather jacket and all the rest.
So
I've never
do you
heard
know
of
what?
That company.
Do you know what's interesting is that they're in Tom Cruise's contract. They're not allowed to make action figures of him for all these different.
Oh, that's true, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I think it is because they can't do him to scale. Because if like they'll take his real height and they'll make him to scale, and he won't match the other figures, regardless of what scale you purchase him in. He'll be shorter than everyone else.
I have exactly the same contract, but it's about width rather than height. I mean, I just put that out because I thought it was interesting. But yeah, I quite like the look. I won't be buying it, but I do quite like the look of it. Film's phenomenal. I like these two. I did like. That's one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes. Ben Reilly.
Yeah, it's one of mine.
So that is a Mafex one, isn't it? That one. I think I saw that. I think I saw that
fabric,
just after I made the slides.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean that to me, it just looks tremendous. Has there been the hot toy version of that costume?
Yeah, they did the computer.
Do you not have it?
Version.
No.
I thought you had it. It's the same line as your 2099 one.
Ah, right.
Yeah, you can get Ben.
Come on, Peter.
Awesome.
I'm honest.
I really love
I do like that.
The texture on the red on it. It's like almost like a basketball sort of texture. Like the detailing on it is incredible. Like it's I think that's like for me the definitive version of that costume. Sort of what it would look like.
That is the best Ben Reilly costume, and I'm really upset that like even Marvel Legends haven't re-released him again.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's a carded one, isn't there?
So they done one for they released this costume with the Build-A-Figure Rhino wave, I believe, like all those years ago. Obviously, since then, we've had a re-release of Rhino on the retro card. They gave us a Ben Reilly Spider-Man, but it's wearing the more Spider-Man-like outfit with a few changes as opposed to this.
You sure there's not? I thought there was, like, not the retro wave, but there is a carded Ben Reilly. I'm certain I've seen it somewhere.
Anyway, it's a nice figure.
Yeah.
I would have queried maybe he's picking that one, but if there's a hot toy, I might have a look at that.
Yeah.
Beast Wars, Transformers.
You'll have it by the end of the night, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm restraining myself at the moment. I have no interest in Beast Wars. I just put it on there just because I don't know why. Do you guys have any love for Beast Wars? Or?
So I watched the computer animated show when I was a kid, and I kind of fell out of love with it the more I watched. But yes, I can see why kids like this stuff. It's animals and dinosaurs, and they transform into robots that beat people up. It's toyetic.
I think it's a nostalgia thing for people my age, to be honest, because Beast Wars. Oh yeah,
I did.
Point proven, James. Shut your face.
I don't know why he had to throw in the hat.
Smugness.
Exactly. Yeah.
We all do it. I think this is a nostalgia thing for people in their early 30s because this was, I remember this very well. But Luke's right. The more you watch it, the older you get, you realize how bad it was.
Never cared for it.
I watched
they appeared recently, didn't they? In
the War of Cybertron trilogy of series, and that they touched on Beast Wars, and then it didn't do anything.
Beach
for me.
Wars.
Beast Wars. Well, that was a whole different program. Yeah, it was good.
The sandcastle transforming into a parasol.
But talking about nostalgia, look at that Prime. Look at that dead Prime. I mean, exactly. Yeah, but I think I will pick that up. I have to say.
Super 7 as well. Like you don't even want to take that out of the packaging. Look at that presentation there. That's
if you were going to buy that, unless you were doing a diorama with all the others standing around them still healthy, like there's no reason to take that out of the box.
Yeah, exactly. He's dead.
I just loved it. I spotted that. And then, Luke, are these the skeleton packs you were talking about from Boss Fight Studios?
If that's the company that have made them, that's what I'm talking about.
It says there, Boss Fight.
Yeah. They've made loads of stuff like this over the years, loads and loads, and I really like it. I think it's cool. You know, you can mix and match and put them in different displays of your own.
So are these generic? They're supposed to be generic, or is this from
no generic?
Because it's Hacks, not a show or something.
I don't think so.
Hey, it's an anagram. Must mean something.
Very Jason and the Argonauts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or like on the pirate on the end. You know, you can go with it.
Anyway, good stuff. Okay. So just to just to mention,
there's a pirate.
Pirates, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
What are you talking about?
Do you know you can do little Pirates of the Caribbean? I saw that and I was like, I can have like a Black Sparrow fighting them or something if you wanted to.
Sorry.
So vintage. I'm not going to talk about vintage this week, this month, guys. We'll pick up on that next month because I think we had enough stuff.
Oh fuck it! Let's go over 2 hours.
I
want to know.
That's true.
So. Coming soon, so guys,
production.
Just looking at what shows we've all coming up, so you can tell a little bit what's happening on your channels. But also, after you've done that, I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Tell us what your next purchase is going to be. What you think your next figure that you're on the hunt for. So I'll go first. I've got a few shows out, obviously, with you guys. We've got What If coming up on the 19th of July. We're looking at Doctor Strange. We've then got Boys and the Toys, 26th of July. And that's the two thumbs for my videos coming out this week. We've got a comic unboxing, and we've got the Batman Beyond hot toy figure. And then we've got a live show for Thor Love and Thunder coming out on the 11th of July, which I hope you guys are all going to join us on. My next purchase, I am looking for a hot toy Predator or a hot toy Alien. But the hot toy Aliens are all pretty naff, I have to say, and they seem to degrade very, very quickly. So I'm
you only wanting classic Predator, or because I see tons of the Falcon?
Yeah, no, I want there's shitloads of them out there, but I want one that looks like classic Predator. They did do it from the Predators film. They did a Predators classic Predator, which is nice. I like that. Yeah. But there's all kinds of samurai Predator, hunter Predator.
Yeah, just a basic, clean.
Yeah, I just want a basic, clean Predator. Yeah. So that's me, guys. Ben.
Yeah. So, of course, on Friday, the last 2 episodes of Stranger Things season 4 will drop. So I will hopefully have a review, an overview of the season coming out at the weekend. I'm going to try and get that kind of out as soon as I watch the show. So hopefully that'll be out Sunday. And then, if you've been on my channel over the last month, you would have seen me doing my Obi-Wan Kenobi live review shows. So the full playlist is up now if you did want to go back and watch some sweaty nerds argue it out every Thursday night. No, it was great fun. But never again.
So what figure are you looking for next, mate?
Well, some people may be aware that a very special thing happened to me during a live stream over on One Sip Scale Man, and basically one of the people in the live chat gifted me a figure, or they made a tip that would mean that I could go out and buy a figure. So because of the way YouTube tips and stuff work, I don't know, because my channel's not big enough now, but the way it works takes about a month for that to come through. So I'm hoping that by the end of next month, I can put an order in for a Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse. So I'm really, I feel very humbled by that whole experience, but I'm really excited to get the figure. And obviously the very least I could do is give a bit of a showcase to it when it comes.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. Looking forward to seeing that one. Luke, what you got?
Yeah, so I've finally actually done a little showcase of my Planet of the Apes NECA collection. I've actually photographed this many months ago and only just put the video together recently. But these are some of the best action figures that I have ever purchased. I absolutely love them. Yes, I love my Turtles, I love my Gremlins, but these Planet of the Apes figures, specifically this classic look, absolutely knock it out of the park. For once, I actually hope that NECA do bring them out again for a re-release, just so I can buy some more. Army build those soldiers even more so. But yeah, I want to highly recommend you guys to go and check that out. But then also with you same guys, I do the Geek Retreat every Sunday night. So this is a Sunday night hangout. It's live. We'd love for anyone to not only join us in the chat, but if you actually want to come on the show, it is open invitation. And yeah, just let one of us know and we'll arrange to get you on either the next show or the one afterwards. And it's just a rundown of that week's geeky news. So again, all are welcome, and yeah, come along.
Good stuff. And
what's the screening process first, guys?
No, that's what open invitation means.
What figure are you picking up next?
So I was just looking, as you said, about it, because I actually have to write everything down so I know what money's coming out. It's actually the Mattel Hammond collection Dinosaurs that are going to be coming out next. Nice. So I don't think it's going to be the T-Rex, but I do think it's going to be some of the others. So possibly a couple of Velociraptors or similar.
Good stuff. Nice.
Can't wait to see your woodland pictures for those. Your pictures, mate. Your like on-site pictures, and you know what I'm like. I never bloody blow your trumpet, but I've been loving.
Not since you got married, no.
Hey, well done, Luke.
James, right. Yes. So I had as I said earlier, my Last of Us kind of overview video was out last week, and last night I did a live CGC unboxing. My first submission, $15. Went pretty well, I think. So you can check that out anyway if you want to see me go like that in shock. It was a good night.
It was tremendous. It was good fun.
Yeah, so good fun. Yeah. Next figure. I bought one the other day, and I was hoping it would arrive today for show and tell, but it didn't. So that's one I've been looking for a while. So I'll have that as a show and tell, probably on the Geek or Treat or here. And my NECA Last of Us figures should be out any day now. I think they said like May, June. So I'm waiting for the comic shop to call me for that. So excited.
They'll look sweet in like if you can find like some wreckage or something, like a little.
Yeah, I was gonna look for a burnt out car or something. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. And as we said, next show is the 26th of July for More Boys and the Toys. We'll probably follow the same format. So just leaves us to say thank you very much, guys. Always enjoy talking to you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to anybody that watched tonight. And we'll catch you next time. So take care. Bye.